You want to know the number one most powerful discipline in the entire world? Let's talk about that today. Hey, welcome back. Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. Today I want to talk about the number one most powerful personal discipline in the whole world, and if you master it, the power it can give you. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is a couple things. One of the teams I coach with, this was the subject of our conversation today in one of our group meetings. The other is I've talked about this in a reel before, and some of the comments and feedback I got were interesting. And so love to hear your feedback on this. Let me know what you're thinking about it and whether you agree or disagree. I'd love to hear it. So this actually comes from one of Dan Kennedy's books, and it was something that I read in there, and it's got a lot of power behind it. And to me, there's a lot of it I definitely agree with, because I've been in a position, in a leadership position, in a business owner position, in outside of business, in different leadership positions, and thinking about how important this is and the power behind mastering it. That discipline is punctuality. Now, I shared this with someone on the weekend, and their comment was, I wouldn't have thought of that topic. I wouldn't have thought of punctuality when I'm thinking, okay, what is this number one discipline? But there's so much behind this. And like I said, this comes from Dan Kennedy's book. So I want to share a few things that he said. First of all, he said, being punctual, being where you are supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, as promised, without exception, without excuse, every time, all the time. Now, I want you to think, if you're in a leadership position, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, think about the people who you can trust. The ones that you know that will be there when they said they'll be there, that are on time, and all of those things. Now think about the people who you know are habitually late, that you can't trust. Think of the difference of power those two people have in their position. Now, and something else he says, being punctual gives you the right, the positioning to expect and demand that others treat your time with utmost respect. If I'm habitually punctual rather than habitually late, I can expect it of you as well. And if you're habitually late, if I just accept that, and I always plan on things being 10 minutes late, 20 minutes late, just to make up for expecting you not to show up on time, that really throws things off to me. In our meeting this morning, the example I gave, we have some people on the team that are in Kansas. We have some other people in the team that are in Utah. Now, they're on different time zones, which really affects how they work throughout the day. Now, if they have a meeting scheduled together that they're supposed to be there at 1 o'clock, and my guy in Kansas has that meeting at 1 o'clock and the next meeting at 2 o'clock, if the person in Utah is like, it's not a big deal if I'm 15 minutes late, that has a ripple down effect. That has an effect on what's happening at that 2 o'clock meeting for the guy in Kansas. Now, he's not going to trust the guy in Utah the next time they have a meeting, because he doesn't know if he's going to be there on time. So that's going to waste some of his time, because he's going to have to put a buffer in there and understand that I might have to make up some time here. Something else he says there's a link between respect for others' time and respect for others' opinions, property rights, the kind of agreements and contracts a person reveals a great deal about himself by his punctuality or lack of punctuality. So that part really hits me, where we're talking about respect. If you're habitually late, you're not showing any respect for that other person. And the part that really caught my attention when Dan wrote this, and I highlighted in my book, he says, people who can't be punctual can't be trusted. So it goes beyond being late for something. Now, when I talked about this on one of my reels on social media, I had someone comment, it's better to show up late than not show up at all, which in a lot of cases, yes. But there's also, I recall back many years ago, when I was in Canada, I was working as a bank manager. We had a speaker come to us. His name is David Irvine. He wrote a book called Accountability, Getting a Grip on Results. And he talked about the accountability factor, that if you're going to be late, blaming one, saying, I hit too many red lights or there is too heavy of traffic versus I didn't leave home in time to accommodate for the traffic I was going to be in. You know, there's a whole different mind shift and mentality shift there. Yeah, there's going to be situations where things are out of your control and you can't make things happen like you should. But are you the type of person that is pushing the limit so that you're trying to be there right on time, or that you don't care if you're a little bit late? Or are you the person that says, you know what, if I'm there on time, I'm already 15 minutes late. I would rather be dealing with the person that is always there early, that is there waiting to see me, rather than me getting done expecting them to be there in 2 minutes and they don't show up for 20. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your input on it, because from a trust level, I think this goes a long ways. Because as an employer, as a business owner, I'm going to have a lot more trust in someone that I know is going to be where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be, than someone that's a great worker, but I never know if they're going to be there on time. I've got people in my direct life that are habitually late. And so what do? We will say we're leaving at 10 when really we're not leaving till 10:30. We adjust things. But can I trust that person on time situations? No, I can't. If I'm really dependent on them to be at a certain place at a certain time, I don't have that trust level. And so that goes beyond just showing up for something. And it goes to the point of what Dan says. People who can't be punctual can't be trusted. You know, it might sound really harsh, but there's a lot of truth in it. So love to hear your thoughts on this. Love to hear feedback. Depending on where you're listening, leave a comment, send a DM, whatever. But love to hear all about the thoughts that you have with this. One of the comments I got on the reel is, have you ever tried to tell a woman to give birth on time? Well, there's certain things that aren't going to work, because yes, I have tried that. I've tried to tell my wife, you need to have the baby at this time because I've got rodeos to go to. Didn't work out so well for me. So yeah, there are things that aren't time constrained, but that's not being punctual. Having a baby when you want to have a baby isn't a matter of punctuality. Doing the things that you can control is. So thanks for being with me. Hope this is helpful. Hope this will give you some motivation to work on your punctuality and become better than you are today. Thanks for being with me. Be back tomorrow. I've always known that accountability is important, and I thought I was pretty good at it. But it wasn't until I started to work with an accountability coach that I realized the true impact of accountability. Hi, my name is Jeff Heggie, and I want to tell you about our Jumpstart calls. These are quick 10-minute daily calls with other high achievers who are growing and transforming together. If you're serious about your goals and you want to achieve more in the next 90 days than you have in the past year, this is something that you really need to pay attention to. What you are doing is important, and this is a group that's here to help support you in all of your success. Our Jumpstart calls are designed to help you create and sustain consistent momentum in your life and in your business that will ensure that you hit your goals. It's easy to get tied up in the urgent things every day, but when you commit to focus on the important things, you can move mountains. You're going to grow with us. We're doing this together, and it's important. A simple 10-minute commitment each day is going to change your life. So if you're ready for a jumpstart, come and join us. We're going to win together. Go to jeffsjumpstarts.com. Og Mandino said that the difference between those who have failed and those who have succeeded lies in the difference of their habits. Good habits are the keys to success. Many of the habits that will bring you success in life are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. I developed the Mindset Journal so that I could easily implement powerful success habits into my daily routine. The power of the Mindset Journal comes from knowing your top priorities and scheduling them into your day. The power of the reticular activating system and its relationship to your goals, your mindset questions, and your daily accountability. So if you want to implement some quick and effective success habits into your daily routine, go to jeffhagee.com/mindset journal and get yours today.